gradual release of responsibility is a research-based instructional model developed by Pearson and Gallagher in 1993. The triangles represent the mentoring relationship and the two-way interaction between the teacher and the student. At the beginning of a lesson or when new material is being introduced, the teacher has the prominent role in the delivery of the content. This is the I do it phase. As students acquire the new information and skills, the responsibility of learning shifts from teacher instruction to student processing activities. In the we do it phase of learning, the teacher continues to model, question, prompt, and cue students. But as students move into the you do it phase, they rely more on themselves and less on the teacher. I will use the following teaching strategies: objectives in providing feedback, non-linguistic representation, cooperative learning, homework and practice, reinforcement, and providing recognition. My name is Ms. Radanovich, and my lesson today is telling time by the hour, grades K through 2. The objectives of this lesson will be as follows. The students will be able to discuss why time is important. Students will be able to make an analog clock using poster board and construction paper. The students will demonstrate their ability to tell time by the hour. The students will be able to master the skills of telling time by the hour. Before we begin the lesson, I will engage the students in a discussion about time, giving them an opportunity to share with their classmates how they depend on time every day. The students will construct an analog clock manipulative for the practice segment of this lesson. I will begin by giving each student a round piece of poster board to represent the face of the clock. A replica of the clock face will be visible to the students somewhere in the classroom to copy. They will then be instructed to write the numbers 1 through 12 on the face of the clock using a marker or crayon. Next, they will be instructed to trace, cut out, and attach the minute hand and the hour hand to the face of the clock. A brass fastener will be used to give the hands mobility. This component allows the teacher to model his or her thinking and understanding of the content for students. Usually brief in nature, focused lessons establish the purpose or intended learning outcome and clue students into the standards they are learning. In addition to the purpose and the teacher model, the focused lesson provides teachers an opportunity to build and or activate background knowledge. Using the up arrow in the left-hand corner of the toolbar, I will begin my instruction. The students will focus on the face of the clock and the position of the hands. The long hand is the minute hand. The short hand is the hour hand. To remember which hand is the minute hand and which hand is the hour hand, I will explain to the students that the long hand has a long name, minute, and the short hand has a short name, hour. There are 60 minutes on a clock face. Skip count by 5s to count the minutes with me. When the minute hand is pointing to the 12, read the clock as o'clock. In this case, the hour hand is pointing to the 3. That means it's 3 o'clock. What time is it now? I will explain to the students that we can write the time 2 ways. When we write the time using words, we write it with the number word and the word o'clock. When we write time using numbers, we write the hour in number form, a colon, and 2 zeros to represent no minutes. 2 hours have passed. What time is it now? I will reiterate long hand is pointing to the 12, and the short hand is pointing to the 9. That means it's 9 o'clock. Remember that the long hand is the minute hand, and the short hand is the hour hand. During guided instruction, teachers prompt, question, facilitate, or lead students through tasks that increase their understanding of the content. While this can and sometimes does occur with the whole class, the evidence is clear that reading instruction necessitates small group instruction. Guided instruction provides teachers an opportunity to address needs identified on formative assessments and directly instruct students in specific literacy components, skills, or strategies. In the We Do It phrase, in both the guided and collaborative practice segments, I will be utilizing the linguistic and non-linguistic approaches as I encourage and engage students to apply what they have learned to this session. It is crucial at this time of the lesson to recognize effort and give positive and corrective feedback. Students are obliged to ask questions as we prepare for the homework segment of this lesson. As we move through the We Do It stage of guided practice, I will call on students to work the activities they see on the screen. I will demonstrate each activity since this is only a simulation of a real-time class. On the first slide, I will ask a student to read the sentences under each clock, and using the pencil tool to the left of the screen, write the correct answer in the box provided. The long hand is pointed to the 12. The short hand is pointed to the 7. Using the pencil tool, the students will write the time. The time is 7 o'clock. On the second slide, using the up arrow, I will trace the minute hand and the hour hand on each clock to prompt correct responses. A willing participant will then write the correct time under each clock using the pencil tool in the toolbar. The clock reads 1 o'clock. The student will write 1 in the box. On the third slide, I will direct students to draw the hour hand and the minute hand on each clock, displaying the time labeled under each clock. The first clock reads 6 o'clock. Using the pencil tool, I will draw the minute hand and the hour hand to show 6 o'clock. On the fourth and final slide of the segment, students will be reminded that the minute hand is already present and pointing at the 12. It will be the student's job to place the hour hand correctly on each clock using the up arrow found on the left side of the screen. The first clock reads 3 o'clock. The students will choose the hour hand on the right-hand side of the screen using the up arrow. Students will place the hour hand on the clock. Now the clock reads 3 o'clock. To consolidate their understanding of the content, students need opportunities to problem solve, discuss, negotiate, and think with their peers. Collaborative learning opportunities ensure that students practice and apply their learning while interacting with their classmates. This phase is critical as students must use language if they are to learn it. The key to collaborative learning, or productive group work, as it is sometimes called, lies in the nature of the task. Ideally, each collaborative learning task will have a group function combined with a way to ensure individual accountability. called Match the Time. Each student will receive a copy of this activity. The students will be assigned to work with a partner using the analog clock they made at the beginning of the class. This activity will be timed to assure students stay on task. When called back to the circle or the main room of the virtual class, students, those in the traditional class, will be given the opportunity to check their own work or exchange papers with their partners for peer review. I will call on students to match the times on the clocks using the up arrow on the left-hand side of the screen. The first clock reads 3 o'clock. As the goal of all of our instruction, independent learning provides students practice with applying information in new ways. In doing so, students synthesize information, transform ideas, and solidify their understanding. Importantly, the gradual release of responsibility model is not linear. Students move back and forth between each of the components as they master skills, strategies, and standards. The homework assessment segment takes us to the final stage of this lesson called the You Do It phase. Students will be assigned to complete the worksheet for homework and return it to me to assess for understanding and or mastery of the skill. Students in the virtual class can receive this as a Word document or a PDF and make the exchange through email. The websites referenced here will be utilized as extra practice, review, and reinforcement of this concept. Websites provide a fun way to learn and opportunities to work independently, offering immediate feedback.